You know that feeling when you're speaking a new language and you just hit a wall with a common phrase?
Oh, definitely.
It feels like everyone else gets it, but you're just like not quite connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Maybe you use a word and it's, well, technically correct, but it doesn't quite land right. Or it misses a crucial nuance that just makes all the difference.
Exactly. Like you're slightly out of tune with the conversation.
Yeah. It's like everyone's on the same wavelength, effortlessly navigating the currents of conversation.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to tune in, wrestling with a signal that's almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're diving deep into some of those everyday linguistic puzzles, phrases that are deceptively simple, yet actually incredibly powerful. Today, we've got a fantastic stack of source material here titled Everyday English, Phrases for Fluency.
Sounds good.
And it's all about taking those phrases that pop up constantly in conversation, in writing, in media, and truly understanding their nuances.
The subtle meanings, the contexts.
Exactly. The implied contexts, the little secrets that make native speakers sound, well, native. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack these linguistic nuggets so you, our listener, can use them with confidence and precision.
Moving beyond just knowing the words.
Right. Into truly understanding the heart of the phrase, maybe the cultural weight they carry, and how they really shape our interactions.
And what's truly fascinating here is how often the simplest phrases carry the heaviest weight in communication.
That's so true.
They're like these linguistic shortcuts, right? Packed with cultural assumptions and unspoken expectations that can be incredibly challenging for learners to decode.
Yeah.
So we're not just looking at definitions today, we're exploring the why and the how behind these phrases, really trying to help you bridge that gap between, knowing words and truly speaking fluently.
Understanding the implicit messages.
Precisely. The things that aren't explicitly stated but are absolutely understood by a native ear. That's kind of key to mastering true conversational flow.
That's a crucial point, the why behind the words. And it makes me think about how these phrases don't just convey information, but they also carry, well, immense social weight. They help us navigate expectations in a way simple definitions just can't. We want to equip you with the tools to use these phrases naturally, making your English not just correct, but truly effective.
Impactful.
Yeah, impactful. Imagine being able to use these phrases not just to get your point across, but maybe to build rapport or show respect or express subtlety.
Or even avoid those sticky situations sometimes.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Unpacking, think it over. The art of deliberation. First up on our list is a phrase that really champions contemplation. A true ode to patience and measured thought. Think it over.
A classic.
It sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Just 3 little words. But as we were, digging into the source material, it became clear there's a lot packed into those 3 words.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a whole philosophy of decision-making almost that often sets the tone for respect and autonomy in English-speaking cultures.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of effective communication, think it over isn't just a casual suggestion, is it?
No, not at all.
It's really an invitation to engage in critical thinking. It's a deliberate pause.
Right.
It signals that a decision warrants careful weighing of pros and cons rather than, a hasty response driven by impulse or immediate pressure.
It gives space.
Exactly. It's about giving space both to the person making the decision and to the decision itself, really, to allow for a more considered, well-rounded outcome. Think of it like a verbal pause button in a conversation.
I like that, a pause button.
Yeah, encouraging a deeper internal process that values reflection over, just speed.
That's a beautiful way to put it, a pause button.
Yeah.
So let's explore some scenarios where this phrase really shines because its application is, incredibly broad. Our research highlights its frequent use in what we call significant decisions.
Right, the big stuff.
Exactly. Imagine you've just received a job offer and it's a big step. This isn't just another task, right? It's potentially life-altering.
Huge. Career, income, routine, family even.
Totally. Your potential new boss, understand the gravity of this, might say, we'd love to have you join us, but please take your time and think it over. Let us know by Friday.
That feels respectful.
It is an act of respect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Giving you space, acknowledging the weight of the decision, and sort of implicitly trusting you to make the right choice for yourself, not just for them.
They're not pushing for that immediate yes.
No pressure.
Yeah.
They're giving you that grace period to evaluate everything. Salary, benefits, the commute, company culture.
How it aligns with your own goals.
Precisely.
And that courtesy extends far beyond just career moves, right? Consider a major purchase like buying a house or a car.
Or a big business investment.
Yeah, where the financial implications are substantial and, frankly, long-lasting. A good salesperson, someone aiming to build trust rather than push a quick sale, might genuinely advise, "This is a big decision, so please go home and think it over."
We'll be here when you're ready.
Exactly. Or even deeply personal life changes like moving or a big relationship commitment or maybe a major medical procedure.
Yeah.
In all these instances, the phrase creates this environment where a well-reasoned decision is valued over a quick one. It recognizes the profound impact these choices have.
Absolutely. You've outlined the major high-stakes applications beautifully. Now, stepping away from the monumental stuff for a sec, what's fascinating is how think it over also becomes this quiet workhorse in, like, everyday problem solving.
That's true, too.
Like maybe a friend is facing a tricky situation and is feeling really overwhelmed, perhaps a disagreement with family, or they're stuck on a complex work project.
And they're emotional, maybe likely to react impulsively.
Right, which could just make things worse. You could offer, wow, that sounds like a tough one. Look, don't rush into anything. You really need to think it over.
Yeah, step back, let things settle.
Exactly. It encourages approaching the problem with a clearer, more rational head, rather than just reacting to the immediate pressure or the emotional turmoil.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's actually a powerful tool for de-escalation in that sense.
Yeah.
It allows for that mental cool-down period. And then in the context of advice giving, it's just a staple for advisors, mentors, even parents guiding others toward thoughtful choices.
Right.
When a mentor says, "Okay, I've given you my perspective on that career pivot, now go home and think it over," they aren't dictating, are they?
No, they're not expecting you to just follow orders.
Exactly. They are empowering the mentee to internalize the advice, weigh it against their own values, their strengths, circumstances, and ultimately arrive at a decision that truly resonates with them.
It turns advice into a starting point.
Yes. A starting point for personal deliberation. It fosters independence and critical judgment.
You know, when I first read through the sources, this particular nuance of think it over really jumped out at me because it wasn't just about being polite.
There's more to it.
Yeah, something much deeper. It felt like a true linguistic gift, as the sources put it, giving you the power of time and autonomy.
Yeah.
The research highlights several key nuances and implications. The first being the explicit emphasis on time.
Right, time is key.
The phrase inherently suggests that time is not only needed, but available for consideration. It's a clear signal. No rush, no immediate expectation for a response. The speaker respects your need for that internal processing.
That's a profound point because this raises an important question. What happens if you don't think it over?
Right. What are the consequences?
Well, often it leads to regret, doesn't it? Buyer's remorse or decisions that just aren't fully aligned with your best interests or long-term goals.
Yeah, you rush into something.
So the phrase serves as this subtle linguistic safeguard, kind of protecting the decision maker from potential negative consequences of just being impulsive.
It's an encouragement to invest the mental effort.
Yes. And interestingly, in cultures that maybe prioritize immediate answers or collective consensus, this deliberate pause can sometimes be misinterpreted. That highlights a key cross-cultural communication challenge right there.
And linked to that, it's about avoiding pressure. Often it's used to alleviate exactly that, the pressure to make a snap decision, especially in high-stakes environments.
Takes the heat off.
Totally. It ensures that a choice is well considered, not forced by external demands or maybe a fear of appearing indecisive.
Gives you room to breathe.
Exactly. To consult others if needed and to truly feel confident in your eventual answer. So this phrase isn't just polite, it's kind of a cultural cornerstone in professional and personal context. It sets an expectation of thoughtful engagement over just impulsive compliance.
Furthermore, it inherently implies personal responsibility. By suggesting you think it over, the speaker is subtly reinforcing that the decision is ultimately yours.
It's on you.
Right. And it's important to own it after giving it due thought. It's a powerful acknowledgement of individual agency, empowering the recipient to take full accountability for their choices.
It subtly communicates, this is important for you, and I trust you to make it thoughtfully. Okay, so for learners, what are some common mistakes or misunderstandings when they encounter think it over? Our sources mention not understanding that implied grace period.
Ah, yes, that's a big one.
They might feel they still need to give an immediate answer, maybe. Or they might not take the full time offered, feeling awkward about, deferring a response.
Which can lead to those rushed decisions we talked about, or just not fully utilizing the courtesy that's being extended.
Yes, that's a key one. Another pervasive confusion is mistaking it for think about it.
Oh, good point. They sound similar.
They do, but there's a difference. While think about it can be more general, maybe just pondering an idea, considering something briefly, or just acknowledging a suggestion without any real obligation to act.
Like think about going to that new restaurant.
Exactly. No big decision pending there. But think it over specifically implies a comprehensive review, a deeper analysis. You're weighing pros and cons, often in the context of a decision or problem that needs significant deliberation.
The over suggests completeness. Precisely. A full, holistic evaluation of the situation from all angles. It's the difference between a casual consideration and a serious introspection. 2, the power of documentation. Get something in writing.
Okay, now, once a thoughtful decision has been made, perhaps, or an important agreement is on the table, how do we ensure its integrity? How do we make sure that clarity isn't lost?
Or promises aren't forgotten.
Right. That's where our next phrase steps in, moving us from internal reflection to, external validation and certainty. Get something in writing.
This one definitely feels like it's got a history.
It does, doesn't it? It conjures images of past misunderstandings, maybe broken promises or lessons learned the hard way.
Absolutely. And what's truly fascinating here is how this phrase underscores a really fundamental principle of trust and accountability.
Especially in professional or transactional contexts.
Definitely. It's about transforming a verbal agreement, which, let's face it, can be fleeting, subject to memory lapses, open to different interpretations.
Yeah, easily misunderstood.
Into a concrete, verifiable record. It's the linguistic equivalent of put it on the record, really, establishing an undeniable truth.
It's not necessarily about distrusting someone initially, though.
No, not always. It's more about creating a shared, unchanging reference point that protects all parties involved by minimizing ambiguity and, hopefully, potential future disputes.
That's a crucial distinction. It's not always distrust, but ensuring crystal clear clarity. The research highlights its essential role in formal agreements.
Right. Contracts, leases.
Exactly. Let's say a landlord promises to fix a leaky faucet and repaint the walls before you move into a new apartment. They might verbally assure you, oh yes, that'll be done, no problem, consider it done.
Sounds familiar.
But a savvy tenant, understanding this phrase, might politely but firmly say, that sounds great, thank you, could we please get that in writing?
Make it just an email confirmation.
Yeah. Confirming the repairs will be done by X date before I sign the lease.
Yeah.
It's not about distrust. It's about mutual clarity or protection. If it's not fixed, you have that written record to refer back to.
A clear expectation was set.
Right, and this applies everywhere. Business contracts, service agreements, legal arrangements like wills or property deeds, where the precise wording is absolutely paramount.
Indeed. This principle extends to virtually any formal context where commitments are made, especially where there's a significant exchange of value. In business, for instance, a verbal agreement for a large order might feel friendly.
Built on a good relationship.
But without written terms specifying quantities, delivery dates, quality standards, payment schedules, it's just a recipe for potential disputes down the line.
He said, she said.
Exactly. Getting it in writing forces both parties to explicitly define the scope, the expectations, the responsibilities. It dramatically reduces the chances of that scenario where memories differ or intentions get misconstrued. It's just cornerstone good business practice.
And it's not just formal contracts, right? But any time money is involved, even in formal loans, maybe. The sources emphasize its importance in financial transactions. Your car mechanic gives you an estimate over the phone for a significant repair, maybe says it'll be, $1,200. You might be advised, before they start work, make sure you get that estimate in writing so there are no surprises later.
So that $1,200 doesn't suddenly become $1,800.
Exactly. This written estimate becomes a binding agreement, protecting you from an inflated bill. It ensures transparency in pricing, details parts, and labor, builds confidence, prevents shocks.
And similarly, if you're commissioning custom artwork or ordering bespoke furniture, a detailed written quote outlines exactly what you're paying for and what the final product should be. This is critical because financial agreements are often where misunderstandings can escalate really quickly and cause significant stress or loss.
Definitely.
Even something seemingly minor like a deposit for a caterer or a payment plan for a gym membership or the refund policy for an online course. It all benefits immensely from written confirmation.
Solidifies the terms.
Yes, provides a tangible reference point for both parties, ensures everyone's on the same page about payment schedules, cancellation clauses, service deliverables, all that stuff.
What about important commitments that aren't strictly legal or financial? When promises are made that have significant consequences if they're not fulfilled.
Get something in writing is still your best friend there.
Right, like if a company promises certain benefits or specific working conditions, maybe career advancement opportunities during a job interview.
You want to see those in the official offer letter.
Exactly, in the offer letter or the employment contract. It protects both the employer and the employee by setting clear expectations right from the start.
Or consider a school promising specific accommodations for a student's learning needs. Having that in writing helps ensure the necessary support is actually provided.
Absolutely. And this naturally leads us to resolving disputes. Written records serve as invaluable evidence to prevent or resolve misunderstandings later on.
Yeah. If there's ever a disagreement about what was agreed upon, delivery date, product spec, service level, a written document acts as this impartial arbiter. It details the facts as they were laid out and agreed to at the time.
Removes ambiguity.
It does. Provides a clear basis for resolution, often avoiding the need for more drastic measures like legal action simply because the facts are recorded and undeniable. It makes accountability straightforward.
So what does this all mean for someone learning English? It's not just a phrase, it's like a piece of deeply ingrained wisdom, isn't it? A cultural touchstone.
Tells you a lot about how the culture approaches agreements.
It really does. The sources point out several key nuances and implications, starting with the obvious one, legal protection. A written record is verifiable evidence, tangible proof.
Which raises that important question again. Why is this so ingrained?
Yeah, why the emphasis?
Well, it reflects a profound cultural value placed on accountability, clarity, and transparency, particularly in commercial and legal contexts. It's a pragmatic phrase, really.
Rooted in avoiding conflict.
Exactly, ensuring fairness and justice. It acknowledges that human memory isn't perfect and, well, good intentions can sometimes go awry.
So while it seems cautious,
It's not merely legal protection, it's actually a proactive trust builder. It signals a commitment to transparency and mutual understanding. It kind of elevates relationships beyond just a handshake deal, shows a deep cultural value on clarity and responsibility.
and it also forces clarity and specificity. When you put something in writing, you're compelled to articulate terms precisely, reduces ambiguity.
The more vague promises.
Right, no more, oh, we'll sort it out eventually. It has to be specific. We will sort it out by X date by doing Y action, as documented here.
And that act of writing just crystallizes expectations for everyone. And that precision is invaluable. It removes the guesswork, creates a shared understanding of what's expected, by whom, by when. It's a proactive measure against future misinterpretation.
Build trust, actually.
It does. While it might seem cautious or even overly formal in some informal settings, it actually builds trust by establishing clear, mutually understood expectations. Trust is built on reliability, and written agreements provide a robust foundation for that, sets boundaries and responsibilities.
So what are common mistakes or misunderstandings for learners? The sources mention a significant one. Hesitation to use it. Fearing it implies distrust.
Ah, yes. That's a big cultural hurdle sometimes.
Because in some cultures, asking for something in writing might be seen as rude or offensive, like a challenge to the other person's honor.
Suggesting you don't trust their word.
Exactly.
And that's a critical cultural difference that learners really have to navigate. In many English-speaking contexts, especially professional or commercial ones, asking for something in writing is not an insult.
It's seen as professional.
Yes, professionalism, diligence, and effort to ensure clarity and protection for everyone involved. It shows you take the agreement seriously.
Committed to avoiding future issues.
Right. Another common mistake is not realizing its importance in situations beyond just formal legal documents. It applies to so many everyday commitments where clarity saves headaches.
Like confirming a doctor's appointment.
Sure. Or the scope of work for a home repair or a school event schedule. Even a simple text or email can be sufficient writing. It's about establishing a record, however informal. 3, the versatility of come with, companionship, and inclusions.
All right, let's switch gears a bit to a phrase that's deceptively simple, often just 2 little words, but incredibly versatile and rich with meaning. Come with.
Ah, yes. This one's interesting.
It's one of those phrases that can mean a couple of entirely different things depending on the context, which is where it gets really interesting and sometimes tricky for learners.
Short, Common, but with this dual personality.
Exactly. It perfectly illustrates how subtle shifts in conversation can lead to big differences in meaning.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of, say, prepositions and phrasal verbs, come with really highlights how a tiny preposition can significantly alter the meaning.
From physical accompaniment
To conceptual inclusion, which raises that important question. How do we intuitively know which meaning is intended?
context, right?
Of course. The answer lies in the surrounding context, the specific nouns and verbs used, the overall scenario. But for a learner, developing that intuition takes time and lots of exposure. They have to constantly analyze the semantic environment.
Let's break down those two main scenarios our research outlines. The first is about accompanying someone, implying physical presence, shared movement.
Joining someone in going somewhere.
Right. So you're literally moving together, sharing a journey or an experience.
Exactly. For example, you're heading to a concert with friends, and you text, "Hey, are you coming with us to the show tonight?"
Meaning physically join the group.
Yes. Share the journey, share the experience of the concert. It implies a shared destination, a collective movement towards that place.
Or a kid asking, can I come with you to the grocery store?
Yeah, wanting to be a companion on the errand.
The usage contexts here are just so broad, spanning daily life. Think about invitations. Want to come with me to the park for a walk?
Travel. I'm going to the airport early. Want to come with?
Social gatherings. Everyone's going to the party after work. Are you coming?
Yeah.
Even errands. Just running to the dry cleaners. Want to come with and chat?
Mm-hmm.
It implies shared movement or experience, often used in questions or invitations. The core idea is companionship. The nuances are important. Shared journey, camaraderie, and the verb come implies movement towards the speaker or where the speaker will be.
The emphasis is truly on the shared action and presence. It's fundamentally about movement alongside another person or group. Fosters that sense of togetherness.
And this can be tricky for learners.
It often is, especially if their native language uses maybe a single verb for both bring an object and come with a person, or lacks this specific phrasal verb structure. It requires a kind of mental reframing of how movement is expressed.
Okay, now for the second scenario, being included as part of a package or a deal. This is where it gets really interesting because the meaning shifts entirely.
Even though the phrase is identical.
Right. Our sources define this as something being supplied or equipped as a standard feature or an accompanying item that's part of a larger offering.
Yes, the meaning here is completely different. For instance, you're buying a new smartphone. You might ask the salesperson, does the phone come with a charger and headphones, or do I need to buy them separately?
So, come with here refers to the included accessories or features.
Exactly. What is provided alongside the main item? What arrives with it when you buy it? Or, looking at a software subscription, you might ask, does the premium package come with cloud storage and priority support?
And the contexts for this are usually around products, services, offers, product features. Does this laptop come with a tree-installed OS?
Services. Does the premium gym membership come with personal training sessions?
Right. It's often used when inquiring about contents, specs, what's bundled together. Renting a furnished apartment. Does it come with a washing machine?
Mm-hmm. It's all about the inclusions. The nuance here distinctly describes what is provided alongside the main item or service. Inclusions, components, benefits. What forms part of the complete offering, often at no extra cost or as standard.
It's less about people moving together.
And more about an attached attribute or component that sort of arrives with the core product or service.
This is just a perfect example of why context is king in English. Why just memorizing definitions isn't enough.
Absolutely.
The exact same two words, come with, mean entirely different things, but our brains just know because of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about a concert, it means accompany. Talking about a phone, it means included.
It's amazing how quickly we make that semantic leap.
Isn't it? Our sources emphasize how the surrounding words, the tone, the overall situation, travel versus product description provide those crucial clues.
And what's truly fascinating here is how the brain processes these subtle shifts so efficiently. For learners, understanding these dual applications means not just memorizing the phrase.
You need more than that.
Right. You need to develop an ear for the surrounding dialogue, the implied scenario. It encourages critical thinking about the whole communicative act, not just the isolated phrase.
Analyzing the semantic environment.
Which is a hallmark of true fluency. It also highlights the tricky nature of phrasal verbs, where adding a small preposition can just drastically alter the core verb's meaning. That's a significant challenge.
So let's talk about common mistakes or misunderstandings for learners here. Our sources point out confusing come with,
Yeah.
accompany with, bring, or take.
Ah, yes, the bring-take confusion.
Right. They focus on the object being transported, not the companion. Someone might say, I came with my umbrella, when they actually mean I brought my umbrella. Come with, in the accompanying sense, is almost always about a person or maybe a pet that physically accompanies you. You bring an object. Person comes with you.
That's a very common error stemming from a fundamental grammatical difference. Bring and take are transitive verbs. They need a direct object, usually inanimate. I bring a book. I take my dog to the vet.
Right.
Come with, for accompaniment, usually implies a person or pet as the subject joining you. Are you coming with me? My friend came with me.
Got it.
Another mistake is just missing the included with meaning entirely, leading to confusion about product specs. A learner hears, the software comes with a free trial and gets confused, thinking who is the software coming with?
Because they're stuck on the accompaniment meaning.
Exactly. Recognizing that shift from animate companions to inanimate bundled features is a key hurdle. It requires active attention to context. 4. Choosing alternatives. Instead of,
Okay, finally we arrive at a phrase that's all about making choices, expressing preferences, and highlighting alternatives. Instead of.
the phrase of substitution.
Yeah, this one pops up everywhere in daily conversation. It signals a decision point, a different path taken, or just a clear preference. It's fundamental for clearly and concisely expressing your choices without ambiguity.
Indeed. And connecting this to the bigger picture of expressing preference and making decisions, instead of, is just a vital tool for precision and maybe even rhetorical elegance.
How so?
Well, it directly contrasts two possibilities, right? Clearly stating which one was selected or preferred and why the other was rejected. And this raises an important question. How does it differ from just saying but?
Good question.
While but can introduce a contrast, I wanted to go but I was tired, instead of ow, is more specific about replacement or substitution.
Ah, okay, one thing in place of another.
Exactly. It clearly indicates one option is chosen in place of another, rather than just presenting a contrasting idea. It's about active substitution.
That's a great point about the replacement aspect. It's a deliberate swap. Let's look at scenarios where instead of is used. First, expressing preference or choice. Deciding between options. Fundamental part of everyday chat.
From the trivial to the significant.
Right, like it's Friday night, planning dinner. You might suggest, let's order Chinese food instead of pizza tonight for a change.
Clear preference, clear rejection of pizza.
And you're stating your preference, often giving a reason implicitly or explicitly for a change. It simplifies communicating a choice, letting everyone know what's off the table and what's on.
And this isn't just food choices, obviously. Entertainment. Let's watch a movie at home instead of going out.
Activities. I'll take the stairs instead of the elevator today.
Yeah. It's about explicitly stating the chosen alternative clearly and concisely. Guides the conversation directly to your preferred option without needing long explanations.
It's also crucial for substitution, effectively replacing one item or action with another. Like during a team meeting, someone might say, instead of emailing everyone individually, let's just send one group message on the chat.
Highlighting a more efficient or better approach.
Right. It's about optimizing an action, streamlining a process, or even in the kitchen. I'm out of sugar, so I'll use honey instead of sugar.
Precisely. This usage demonstrates adaptability, resourcefulness, problem solving. Instead of driving, I decided to walk. The walk directly substitutes the drive.
Practical application.
Very practical. Shows a clear shift in method or material. It's about making a deliberate alteration to a plan or a component.
Our sources also point to its powerful use in describing alternatives, clearly explaining why a different path was chosen. For example, he decided to pursue a master's degree instead of going straight into the workforce.
Tells you immediately about his choices.
Yeah. The path he didn't take and the path he did gives a complete, succinct picture of a major life decision. Outlines not just the outcome, but the rejected alternative, which adds significant context.
It truly adds context and depth to the narrative of a decision. You immediately understand the rejected alternative, and often you can infer the reasoning behind the chosen one, even if it's not explicitly stated.
You get a clearer understanding of priorities.
Or circumstances or strategic thinking. This phrase allows for concise expression of complex decisions, avoids ambiguity, makes communication really effective. It's a powerful word economizer, making sure your listener gets your preference instantly.
Now let's quickly touch on grammatical considerations because this is where learners can sometimes stumble. But mastering it unlocks a whole new level.
Yes, the patterns are key.
Instead of can be followed by a noun, a pronoun, a gerund, that's the verbing form, or a noun phrase. It's quite flexible, but you need the right pattern.
Yes, understanding those patterns is key to using it correctly and naturally. For instance, with a noun, I'll have tea instead of coffee. With a pronoun, ask her instead of him. Again, straightforward. With the gerund, which is where errors often happen, she walked to work instead of taking the bus.
Not instead of to take.
Correct. Because of is a preposition, and prepositions in English are almost always followed by a noun or a gerund. Remembering that preposition plus noun gerund is golden.
Good tip.
And with a noun phrase, we chose the quiet cafe instead of the busy food court. Recognizing these patterns makes your sentences flow naturally, sound more sophisticated.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner? Mastering instead of immediately makes your sentences more sophisticated, your explanations clearer, your choices much more precise.
Express nuanced decisions efficiently.
Right. The sources highlight its nuance in creating that direct contrast. Sets up a comparison clearly, no waffle.
And what's fascinating is its ability to create such clear contrast. Avoids ambiguity, makes communication highly effective. That powerful word, economizer, again.
Gets the point across fast.
It also often implies a reasoning, even if unstated. I stayed home instead of going out. Might imply you were tired or saving money or something else. The choice itself carries implicit information.
Shows flexibility, too.
Yes. An ability to adapt plans, consider different approaches, adjust to circumstances, portrays you as thoughtful and decisive.
And finally, let's address some common mistakes or misunderstandings for learners. Our sources mention incorrectly using instead alone when instead of is required.
Ah, the classic instead versus instead of.
Yeah. A learner might say, I will go home. Instead, I will study. Which can sound awkward or just wrong.
Right. Instead, on its own, functions as an adverb, usually at the beginning or end of a sentence, meaning as an alternative, and often refers back to a general idea. I decided to stay in. Instead, I studied. Or I decided to study instead.
But when directly comparing two specific options,
You need the prepositional phrase instead of. Instead, by itself, needs more context. Instead of explicitly links the two items, making the comparison direct and unambiguous. And the other very common mistake is those grammatical errors with verbs after instead of, particularly using an infinitive instead of a gerund.
we saw instead of taking the bus.
Right. The common error is instead of to take the bus, remembering that of is a preposition, and prepositions take nouns or gerunds, the ing form, will help you navigate that.
Practice makes perfect.
Exactly. Practicing instead of doing, instead of going, instead of seeing. You'll internalize the pattern quickly. Outro.
Wow. Okay, what a deep dive into the subtle power of everyday English. We've taken think it over, get something in writing, come with, and instead of, and really pull them apart.
Piece by piece.
Hopefully you now feel much more equipped to wield these common phrases with precision and confidence in your everyday English conversations, understanding not just what they mean, but how they truly function.
In the whole fabric of communication. Yeah, this deep dive has truly highlighted how seemingly simple words and phrases can carry just immense contextual weight, cultural nuance, practical implications.
It's more than just vocabulary.
So much more. Understanding these isn't just about expanding your vocab. It's about understanding the subtle signals embedded in everyday English. It enriches your overall comprehension and expression.
Moving from just correct sentences
To truly communicating with intent, understanding, and cultural sensitivity.
So what does this all mean for you listening?
Mm-hmm.
As you go about your day, listening to conversations, reading articles, watching shows, start noticing just how often these very phrases pop up.
Pay attention to the context.
Yeah. The context, the tone, the situation. How does think it over grant respect? How does get something in writing build trust? How does come with shift meaning so effortlessly? And next time you're faced with a decision, or trying to explain a choice, or inviting someone, or dealing with an agreement, ask yourself, which of these powerful linguistic tools can I use to truly express myself? Not just correctly, but brilliantly and effectively.
What stands out to you from today?
Yeah, what new insights or aha moments did you have?
Which raises that important final question. Beyond just passively identifying them, how can we actively seek out and internalize the unspoken rules and nuances of these everyday phrases?
How do you make them your own?
Well, perhaps the next step for you is to not just identify them when you hear them, but to actively try incorporating them into your own dialogue, into your emails, your planning.
Observe the impact.
Exactly. Observe the subtle yet powerful impacts they have on your communication. True mastery comes in application, in trying them out, seeing how they reshape your interactions and elevate your fluency.
Start small, experiment.
Then notice the difference.